I think consciousness is what we generally end up seeing as valuable of human worth. And we can run different like thought experiments to see that the majority of people have that same intuition.
Can you define that?
It's going to be the ability to like interpret certain brain states and have certain mental experiences.
Can you be more specific?
It's the ability to interpret things beyond a direct feedback loop.
What does that mean?
So if I showed you the color red, when you see red, there's going to be more than a direct A goes in, B goes out feedback loop in your brain. You're going to start having different sets of like correlations with that. You might see like red, and as red comes out, you're also seeing some sort of like emotional state. You're seeing some sort of like correlations with that. You're able to actually interpret things beyond I put in hormone A and hormone B comes out, and then hormone C comes out and hormone D comes out in a balancing system that you'd see in like really simple organisms.
So fetuses do have that. They recognize their mother's voice. They can recognize their father's voice if he's around. You can play little games with them and poke them, and they poke back.
Yeah, at certain stages. I don't think like a 40-week abortion would be like an okay thing to do. I think it's generally going to end up having that cutoff point around where we start seeing that property emerge from the fetuses.
Okay, so what's that cutoff point, and how would we know that it's reached it?
It's going to generally be around the 22 to 24 week mark is when we start to see this emerge in the majority of fetuses.
How do we know that?
Because we run studies on them. We see exactly when they start to have these outcomes given these set of stimuli. We also see which structures are required for this. Like you need a brain to be able to like experience the voice, right?
Yeah.
We start seeing like brain development.
I don't think we have any way of knowing when a fetus starts to have that kind of mental processing.
Oh, we do.
You're just picking 23 weeks because that's when the fetus can survive outside the womb.
No, said 22 to 24 weeks is generally the range we start seeing that brain waves start to come out of the fetus. We start seeing those things when we start to measure them using ultrasounds and MRIs on the mother's body. And we start seeing what developmental stages the fetus is in. We start seeing that the brain stages that we see in humans' ability to interpret these things in like people that are already born. And we see when those parts end up developing to the point where we'd have a reasonable assumption that they're going to be usable for the fetus. And that's going to be around that point.
So coma patients, so they should just they don't get personhood because they don't have consciousness?
I mean, we see that when we have people who are brain dead, we're allowed to pull the plug on them, and we generally wouldn't say that's murder, right?
Some people that's brain dead.
Yeah, because
people who are brain dead,
they don't have the ability to experience consciousness anymore.
People who are in a coma aren't conscious.
They're not currently conscious, but they have the ability to experience consciousness.
Right, so they might experience consciousness in the future.
No,
so when
it's
someone
not like a might in the future. It's they have all the parts required to, and they have a reasonable ability given a certain extent of external stimuli. So like if we injected them with enough cocaine to restart their heart or restart their brain and just wake them up for like 5 minutes, they'd experience consciousness. It might kill them in the process, but they'd physically be able to given external stimuli.
I think the reason why we consider it okay euthanize people who are brain dead is because they have lost the ability for their brains to work, and they will never be able to wake up because our brains can't heal. If our brains could heal and we did have the ability to wake up after being brain dead, then it wouldn't be okay to euthanize people who were brain dead. And that's the same reason why it doesn't make any sense to argue that it's okay to kill a fetus because it's below a certain threshold of consciousness, because it will in the future.